Microphone check 1 2. Welcome everyone. Hello, hello. Hopefully this is working. This is all using new systems, getting into new things. So hopefully everybody can hear me out there. Make sure. Oh, I do see. Thank you very much for putting it in the chat that yes, we are a thumbs up. We are hearing. Audio is good. We tried to play a little music on the start screen. That didn't work. So we're riding with it. We are here. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the 2023 Astrology Overview with tarot readings. So, if you have been following me on YouTube and on the socials for a while, last year in 2022, I had my 2022 overview, and that was just an astrology overview. And then through my journey from that point forward, definitely did a lot of tarot readings. So, this year we are here, we are joining both together. So we will have some astrology to go over first, and then we will get into a reading for each quarter. So the way that I approach a new calendar year is in quarters. I think it just helps my Gemini brain and my Virgo placements to just like compartmentalize the things that I need to compartmentalize. And it gives me these little like bite sized pieces to take forward. So that's how it's going to come out today. I'm so excited. Thank you again for joining me. And chat is open. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please make sure to put them in the chat so that way this can be just a little more interactive. All right, let's get started. Oh, first of all, let me introduce myself for those of you that don't know. If you are new here, have not been to my channel, my name is Maloney Adams. It's nice to meet everybody. I am the I am the founder, maybe a little co. My husband would probably say it's a co. Of Habitual Sages LLC. We do astrology and tarot over here. So thank you so much for finding me. Pass me along. Make sure the video gets out. And if you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Somewhere over here, it's all the social markers. So you can find me pretty much on every social outlet. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the 2023 astrology overview. So, here is the list. We have very dynamic astrology in 2023. It is a really, really big transitory year. It's a transition year. We're moving from very prominent energy signatures that we've had for multiple years and moving into whole new energies. And if you've been kind of in this mode of stagnation or when is this crazy ride going to be done, that started in 2020, maybe even a little bit before, depending upon where your natal placements are, it's coming. We're pushing through it. This is going to be a very interesting year. It's going to be um kind of the start of something that is going to carry us through. I am in my late 30s, about ready to hit 40. 2023 is hashtag 40 and aligned. That is where we are headed. But this energy change, and one of the energy changes that we are going to talk about today in this overview, is something that will only happen once in my lifetime. So this is kind of my like, this is this is what it's all about. This is why astrology is so exciting. So let's get started first off with our friend Mercury. So yes, I get it. It's the 21st. Uh we're 21 days into a new calendar year, and here I am doing a 2023 astrology overview. There's purpose for that, right? First of all, it is a lunar new year, so happy lunar new year. Definitely had to come out on the Aquarius new moon. But more importantly, I had to get through Mercury retrograde. Not only that, I had to get through Mars retrograde and get Mars moving in order for this to even be able to be what it is right now. So, Mercury retrograde in 2023 is going to be all in earth signs. So, he just got done January 18th in Capricorn. had a little bit. That was the end of December coming into January. He is now direct. He went direct at the same 8 degree point of Capricorn that Mars went 8 degrees of Gemini, stationing direct. And they're kind of like in this little conversation about who's going to go first. It's like this tug of war, like, no, you go. No, you go. Hey, let's dance. Hey, why don't you do this? Don't tell me what I should do. It's this kind of back and forth that they've been doing. And we're finally on the other side of that, clearing space, clearing the opportunity for us to move forward, to do exactly what I'm doing today, to be able to come out and actually speak about what is going to be happening going forward. So, next Mercury retrograde, again, we're all in earth signs, is going to be in the sign of Taurus on April 21st through May 15th. He will be traversing from 15 degrees of Taurus all the way back to 5 degrees. And then in August, so August 23rd to September 15th, he will do his next retrograde in the sign of Virgo. That's going to be from 21 degrees to 8 degrees of Virgo. And then at the very end of the year, December 13th through January 1st, he is going to start at 8 degrees of Capricorn, retrograde back to 22, degrees of Sagittarius. And then that's going to change Mercury's retrograde cycle. So then in 2024, he'll be retrograding through fire signs. So this year is Earth, and Mercury in Earth is slower. Mercury kind of, it's kind of like having ankle weights, and it like mental weights where you just gotta like, okay, I know I should be getting this by now, but it's not clicking just yet. It does focus depending upon which earth sign, like for example, Capricorn. Mercury does really great in Capricorn, but Mercury likes details in Capricorn. And sometimes when Mercury retrogrades in Cap, details aren't always clear. In Taurus, this is where your material things are going to be at. This is where safety, security, what do you really need to continue to go forward? Where are your finances at? He's going to kind of be slow trudging through some of those things. In Virgo, it's going to be a lot about your daily habits, routines, um, it can be a lot of information about your siblings and like how you're kind of organizing things, how the things that you're creating, right? Because it is in September, so this is or August to September, so it's right before harvest season. How are you actually harvesting? What are you harvesting? How did that go for you this year? What things do you need to rework? What is the checklist that you need to have in order to have a successful harvest? And then again, back in Cap, same thing. But now he transverses back into a fire sign and kind of gets a little giddy up going. So that is going to be Mercury's journey through this year in Earth signs. Next one up is my good friend Mars in Gemini till March. Mars has been here. This should not be new energy for anybody. He has been here since August of last year. This is played out in so many different ways, especially for me. I am a Gemini rising, and Mars has been going back and forth over my ascendant as well as my North Node. So he's been reworking a lot of communication, a lot of how we approach, a lot of how we react to things as he's been in Gemini. And finally, after stationing direct at 8 degrees, 8 minutes of Gemini on January 13th, he is finally moving off that degree point, literally sitting at 8 degrees. This is that revving of an engine. It's grinding away. Like Mars just grinded away whatever was at 8 degree points for you, whatever energy that was for you to come in, just pumice stoned right over back and forth of that degree point. And he has still a very long journey left in Gemini. He's not done yet here. He gets out of his shadow March 13th. So that means he's going to be in Gemini all the way to March 13th. And then, excuse me, all the way until March 23rd. But he crosses his shadow where he started his retrograde um, last year. He crosses that on 313. So, really, like, nothing gets started till March this year, y'all. I know you've probably heard multiple astrologers say that. If you've been following me and Red Pill Astrology, you've heard us say that. Like, it's really, this is, there's a lot that can be done in these next 2 months. There's diligency that's here. But until Mars is actually moving out of shadow, everything is just like opening up in March. And that's really when we're going to see this new year shine. The second thing about Mars that you need to know is Mars is going to be direct all year. For the rest of the year, he has no retrograde in 2023. That's amazing. We need him direct. We need his energy. He's going to be transversing the second half of your chart. So 2022, he only covered the first half, and now he's going to be covering that second half. So this is kind of like a combined overview, right? Like you've got layer on layer here. And when he does that, he's going to meet up with every outer planet and they're going to be in retrograde. No coincidences, nothing. I mean, this is why knowing and like digging into astrology is so cool because that is really interesting. There's something that is meant to be, I'm going to call it like felt, seen, heard, and digested. I think digested is a really great word for that as Mars meets up with every outer planet in retrograde. He's the one, depending upon where the placements are, depending upon what planet it is, yes, they all have a greater energy that they emit, but Mars is the one that's direct. Mars is the one that can stand there and go, hello, you need to listen to me. No, I dealt with you back when I was retrograde. You told me to sit down. I did. This is what I did. Now this is what I'm going to do. You're welcome, not sorry, right? Like that's what Mars is going to, it's going to be this kind of like um pushing the limits, testing a little bit of limits as we go through the second half of the year as Mars then meets up and there's multiple points that he meets up. So it's I think 3 or 4 months in a row, he has some sort of meetup with an outer planet in retrograde. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Then we have lovely Venus. Venus is going to be in Leo this year, and that is where she is going to spend a majority of her time and actually do her retrograde. So she will be in Leo from June 5th to October 9th. She will be retrograde from July 23rd to September 4th. She is going to go from 28 degrees of Leo all the way back to 12 degrees of Leo. And there's Venus retrogrades are something that until Venus retrograded in Capricorn at the beginning of 2022, end of 2021, beginning of 2022, there, I didn't have a lot of connection, knowledge, understanding about Venus's journey and like really what she was trying to rework. There was so much energy and focus on the bigger planets, these, larger conversations that I know in my own practice, Venus was kind of like, okay, she's just doing her thing. She's kind of quiet right now. And then bam, she smacked us with that Capricorn retrograde where she did some amazing work. And now here we are in the sign of Leo, and she gets to bring us back to self. She gets to bring us back to our solar plexus. She gets to bring us back to our power, our childlike wonder. She gets to bring us back to kind of that seat of the soul, if you will, and really figure out like what is really beautiful about you. How are you determining beauty for not only yourself, but for the world that you live in? Um, what questions are you asking about that? And how is it in favor of you versus, more not as like a cut to you, but as how do I fill my cup totally? that can be her journey through Leo. And she's going to have she's got a lot of meetups going on while she has that journey. So as we get towards Leo season, um, as we get towards July, we'll talk more about that. So again, make sure this is just like a little sprinkle of all the things that are going to happen. Next up, Jupiter in Taurus. I'm really excited about this. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are my three favorite. I think I'm torn between this Jupiter and Pluto. Jupiter right now is in Aries. He will be here till May 16th. So I know it says like Jupiter in Taurus. He's not there yet. Yes, he still has Aries to go. That is still really important energy. It is birthing energy. It is new energy. It's expansion of self energy. And he's doing a lot of really great work here currently and will be until May. When Jupiter enters Taurus, however, there's this is going to create and layer on top of Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, the nodes. It's just like that. I'm getting the image of a cake, like the 5-layer cake, and there's like the cream filling inside or like the jelly filling inside. That's kind of the image that it's giving me is this is just that like surprise filling inside of the most delectable cake that you've ever had. And that's what Jupiter and Taurus is going to give us. It's going to give us this expansion into a place that currently is a little chaotic. It may expand that chaos, which is a good thing, right? That can bring about some really amazing changes. It can bring about some really amazing energy, new energy forward. It can help to get a clearer viewpoint of what Uranus is doing there and showing us where our stress fractures are. It can make that easier to see. So his journey through Taurus is going to go from 0 degrees to 15 degrees. He will retrograde in Taurus on September 5th to December 31st. He will station direct at 5 degrees. So he's going to go 0 to 15, 15 back to 5. And what's really interesting about that is he is following Mercury's retrograde in Taurus as well. So Mercury, as we talked about, will be in Taurus April to May, the 21st through May 15th. And then here comes Jupiter, right a couple months after, going, oh, hey, so all of these thoughts that you had, all of these ideas that you had, all of this things that you've reworked here, that's awesome. That is amazing. I love all of those things. Here's even more. Here's even like how do we make that bigger? Hey, yeah, this 2022 astrology overview is great. Now, how do we put it on steroids? How do we expand it even further? How do we make it the most amazing thing that we can? And it is Taurian themes. So your senses, right? How can it taste better? How can it smell better? How can it look better? How can it feel better? How can it become more profitable for you? How can it be more aesthetically what you want it to be. Like you almost got it there, you reworked it a little bit, and now Jupiter's here to go, okay, yeah, this is what you need. This is what you've been waiting for. Hold on. I got this. So that's going to be Jupiter's journey. And then the other two really exciting things is Saturn in Pisces, Pluto in Aquarius. So giving utmost respect to Saturn. Saturn is going to be in Pisces starting March 7th. He will go from 0 to 7 degrees of Pisces. He will retrograde on June 18th to November 4th. And this is a brand new Saturn. So we have got a group of new individuals coming into their Saturn return. And I wanted to just put a little pause and a little pin on that because there's also many companies, large companies that we know and cherish that are also going to be having their Saturn return. And Saturn returns are all about testing. It's all about saying, okay, this is what you've done up to this point. Is it working? Is it going well? Um, hey, this doesn't look like it's that stable. What if I just like pushed it down? And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to make changes? Are you going to like, how are you going to last another 30 years? Because I'm not going to be back here, Saturn, I'm not going to be back here for another 30 years. So, what are you going to do to increase that longevity? You've gotten to this point this far, but what needs to change to go forward? And those companies are PlayStation, Amazon, and Fox News. And there's plenty of others, but those were the three that I felt were really interesting because Saturn in Pisces is a lot about your imaginatory processes, right? How do you imagine the world? Um how do you live in a world where you have to deal with responsibility, which is Saturn, but how can you create something that allows you to take those responsibilities, still live in them, still be with them, still own them, but I don't want to like almost like escape them in a certain sort of way. Like how do you build a world that people can come into? How do you build your world, your environment that people can come into and for just a second their world they can leave and go, this is such a breath of fresh air. Like, I love going over to your house because it allows me to think for a minute. It allows me to uncouple the clutter that's in my mind, the 50 fucking million things that we as humans have to deal with day in and day out. And it allows me to gain a different perspective that then I can go back out into my world, leave your sanctuary, leave that world. I can go back out into the world and have better responsibility, have better direction, have better accountability for the things that I'm doing. So that way, then I can become the best version of myself, which is all Saturn is ever asking of us. And that's what he rewards. He will reward you with the best life ever if you do the work, if you do all the things that need to be done in order to live the best life ever. So that is his that's going to be where Saturn's going to be at for a little bit. Saturn in Pisces, the first decan. So that's going to be a huge energy shift when we get there. Then we also energy shift the same month, March, which we'll get to. March is a whole vibe, with Pluto going into Aquarius. And the more that I continue to talk about, feel into this, to me is like, I'm really excited for this. Now, Pluto's ingress into Aquarius, full ingress, doesn't actually happen until November 19th of 2024. So Pluto's going to go back and forth over 0 degrees of Aquarius 4 times until he fully ingresses and plants himself in that Aquarian energy. So the first time is going to be March 23rd. He will get to 0 degrees of Aquarius, March 23rd, and sit there, literally sit at 0 degrees until June 11th. Sit, not move in any capacity. And it is this, um, it's like this moment of, if you've ever seen people take ice baths, it's that immediate moment where they hit the water for the first time and they go, welcome to Pluto and Aquarius at 0 degrees, March to June. That's what's happening. Oh my gosh. What is this? What is this energy? It's going to be this collective, like, whoa, okay, that's what we're going to look forward to over the next multiple years. Um, So he will retrograde 5-2 to 10-10. He will go from that 0 degree of Aquarius all the way back to 27 degrees, 54 minutes of Capricorn. This is not new energy, y'all. This is 3-year-old energy. Y'all know exactly what this is going to be like, what it is for you. However, remember, this is the last time. So he is going to hit that 27 degrees. There's something ending there. There's something finalizing there. Again, I know I said it, but it is worth repeating. He will be going and again grinding over that 0 degree mark 4 times till he fully ingresses into Aquarius. And I'm really excited about this because this is the first time, as now a practitioner of astrology and a studier of astrology, that I am actively witnessing through the learnings and the knowledge that I now have, um a outer planet like Pluto, a generational planet, a change maker like Pluto, switch signs like this, where I am actually actively involved within this process. I'm observing within the process, integrating within that process in a knowledgeable fashion versus like, yes, the last time, okay, well, what's going on here? What's going on here? But now I get to be this active player. So this is why it's really exciting. And one of my call outs for 2023 is this Pluto into Aquarius. The other thing that I will say is typically when outer planets do ingress and just like dip their toe in this water, it gives you whatever happens during that time frame. So again, let me take a look. You're looking at March to June. During that time frame, watch, observe, pay attention, because more than likely you're going to get details, you're going to get an idea, you're going to get a kind of a taste of a flavor of what is to come or may come when in November the following year Pluto finally does fully ingress into Aquarius. Um, one other thing that I wanted to bring up about this is, again, Pluto is a generational planet. And so this is working with like large scale, worldly, humanity, planetary energy. When Pluto, and just to kind of like give you an idea of how serious Pluto gets in and like works on things in different signs, when Pluto was in Scorpio, that was during the AIDS epidemic. And so, like, 80s, 90s, um, Pluto was in this energy of Scorpio, and that was how Pluto and Scorpio manifested, right? On a global scale. Then, when it went into Sagittarius, it was all about travel and religion. That's Sagittarius's key themes. Well, what happened during that time? 9/11, right? So Sagittarius brought through this like deeper, stronger conversations about religion, changes to our travel, changes to how we approach travel, whether that's very small, short term. Typically, Sagittarius is more longer term travel, like going around the world and things of that nature. And then when it went into Capricorn, 2008. Now I'm speaking about the United States here. We had a financial collapse of the markets, the housing market in 2008. Obviously, he is still in Capricorn, and will kind of be going back into Capricorn until November of next year. And we have seen multiple financial collapse since he's been here, and that's Capricorn themes. So now when we place that into what he's doing in Aquarius, what he could be doing in Aquarius, think about the themes of Aquarius. Yes, it's the, dawn of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. It is about the collective connection of humanity, but it is a lot about technology. And I personally, going on record here, we'll see, in a couple of years from now, watch this video back. I really think that Pluto's work in Aquarius is going to be in the tech field. A lot of his major work is going to be in the tech field, not just advancements in technology. Pluto and Aquarius may be the first time that we see somebody actually going to Mars or mining an asteroid or um having like massive advances. Maybe we do get self-driving cars while Pluto's in Aquarius. It's going to be a lot about AI, lots about artificial intelligence, even bioengineering. So, chips inside of the human body, um, creating creating humans outside of the womb. Um, Lots of different things like that, like stem cells, the ability to grow new limbs. Those sorts of things can all be found or can be up for grabs when Pluto's in Aquarius is the way I'm going to put it. And what the question that I keep hearing and I keep getting is, where is humanity within those advancements? What's humanity's role within those advancements? Because remember, we are in Aquarius, it is still the collective. And that's kind of the question that I keep hearing over and over is like, humanity. Okay, what does that mean for us? What does that look like for us? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is there a way that we can look at it differently? But most of all, because it's Pluto, it's Aquarius, prove to us why it's better. Prove why this is the better option. Prove why this works. We are away from that age of Pisces where it's the faith and, yeah, just listen. We've got your best interest in mind. That age of Aquarius is asking direct questions. Make it make sense. Show us the information. Make sure that we know what it is. And if it all checks out, check mark, go. But you're going to have to give us the info. You're going to have to answer our questions. You're going to have to get into the nitty gritty of it. And that's all stuff that Pluto is going to be reworking. So, very excited. Pluto and Aquarius, I'm very excited to see what happens and walk through that journey with everybody. The last thing that we have for the astrology piece is the node changes with Aries and Libra. So the nodes in Aries and Libra are going to be from July 2023 all the way to January 2025. So you're going to have a really nice um, half of a year where the nodes shift, and then they're really going to ingrain into that Aries and Libra axis on in 2024. So, just to remind everybody, solar eclipses are new moons, lunar eclipses are full moons, and we have four of them. So, they come in pairs, a solar and a lunar. And the first two start in April, May. So, we've got April 19th is your first solar, again, a new moon eclipse that is going to happen at 29 degrees, 50 minutes of Aries. It is a north node eclipse, which again, as we go through the year, I am definitely planning on bringing this into Twitchy Tuesdays so you can get more in depth. But essentially, what that means is that eclipse is going to show you a forward path and energize you to grow. That will happen in April. Its partner, its second half is 5-5, which is a lunar or a full moon eclipse at 14 degrees, 58 minutes of Scorpio. It is a south node eclipse, which is a lot about releasing, a lot about emotional endings. And then eclipse season takes a breather, we integrate, and we come back in October for our next round of eclipses. And those eclipses are going to be from October 14th. That is the new moon, again, 21 degrees, 8 minutes of Libra. It is a south node eclipse. So that is all about completions, which is perfect for October. I love that for us for October. We've got completions ready for next steps. I enjoy that the most because if you are a practicing Wiccan, that is the Sabbath, that is the new year. So I really like how that's all tying together. And then on 10/28, the lunar full moon eclipse will happen at 5 degrees, 9 minutes of Taurus. It is a north node eclipse. So this is all about our growth, our emotional growth, our growth in trusting, our growth in like kind of where that journey that we've been on and looking back at it and knowing, all right, you know what? I'm good. I can go into 2024, this Aries Libra axis, and I know exactly what I'm going to do going forward. The one key thing that I wanted to talk about with the nodal changes, I'm going to go ahead and switch it up here, is new moons this year are all in masculine signs. So new moons are in fire and air for 2023. And I found that really interesting because new moons are typically the dark, right? It's that darkness time. It represents the womb, it represents the mother, the mother aspect of the three-faced goddess. And so there's the fact that it's a masculine energy that is being activated during that time, I thought was a really cool thing that I just wanted to bring up and touch on. We'll see how that plays out as we get closer to those. And then the full moons or the lunar eclipses are all in feminine signs. So again, this is now where the moon is bright and big, and you've got this energy towards it. And this is where, things are open, they're released. And that is in a feminine sign of earth and water where you typically want to go more internal. You want to like feel into things more. So again, just something to be aware of and look out for. All right, before we get to any of the quarters, anybody in the chat, anything going on? Any questions I can answer? I need a drink, so that's what we're doing. We love some Dutch Brothers. Shout out to the DB. If you are not in a location that has a Dutch Brothers, I am sorry. Hopefully they get one soon. That's all I can say. All right. I don't see anything in the chat. So going on to our quarter overview. So once again, I break out my calendar year into quarters. It, for me, compartmentalizes. It allows me to focus on the next 3 months in front of me. It allows me to not go super like intense because again, a lot of these things that I just went over, they're so far in the future. Energies shift and change, and you hopefully as an individual are working with these energies and you yourself are growing. So who we're going to be in quarter 1 should not be the person that we are in quarter 4. So this is how I just, I work with astrology and wanted to bring this forward. Also, this is how we are going to do the reading. So, first off, quarter 1, this is all about reassessing the landscape. We are already in the midst of quarter 1. This will take us through to March. Um, it's slow. Like, the year doesn't start. I said it at the beginning. The year is not starting till March. It's just, hey, we've got time. Hey, I know you want to do all this shit, and I know that you're like waiting for things to go, and I know you're really excited. No, we're not doing none of that. You're just gonna have to sit in it. You're gonna have to rework it. You're gonna have to play with it. Okay, you can start doing this, but really you're not gonna really get going until March. So, have fun with that. This is kind of that energy right now. And it's very interesting because as of tomorrow, all planets will be direct. Uranus stations direct tomorrow on January 22nd. And we have all planets direct till April. And typically that's go time. Like that's get the fuck on your horse and start writing because you only got a certain amount of time before you've got to start reworking things. So pack it in, right? It's almost like wake up out of hibernation, get all your shit together, get ready, air things out. Let's go. We got to move. And that is not the way this year is starting. Yes, we will have all planets direct as of tomorrow, but January and February are almost to me where we still need to assess. We still need to like look at all of the things that are happening, all of the things that we're going to accomplish. And we're looking forward again. Yes, we've got short-term goals, but what is that long term? What are we trying to achieve for that long term? And it's almost like this is that assessment period in these 2 months. And then As soon as we get to like right at the end of February, it's time to be decisive. It's time to take action. And March is going to explode. March is when shit gets real. It's when things start moving. It's when like this bubble of potential starts to be seen, felt, understood, and you need to start taking action. You need to be decisive. You need to get things in order. And it's essentially January and February, make your checklist. All right, these are all the things that I need to do. These are all the things that I need to accomplish. And when I'm ready, I'm just checking boxes. I'm just checking boxes all the way down because there's no confusion right now. Once you're in a station's direct, you don't have a lot of confusion. You don't have a lot of like blurry energy not giving you like clarity on things. So make your checklist, get them ready to go. Um March. March. Let's just talk about what's in March. We have Saturn moving into Pisces. Just talked about it. Huge energy. Pluto moving into Aquarius. Talked about it. Gigantic energy. We have two new moons in Aries. The first one in March, 0 degree Aries point moon. We'll talk about that when we get to March. And there is so much conversation. There are so many, like there's conjunctions, there's squares. The aspects in March are amazing. Again, that is when the energy starts to move forward where you need to take action. So, March in itself, I already know, I already have thought, heard, and understand. March will have literally its own multi-stream live stream just to deal with March alone. March is the month of 20. I deemed it as the month of 2023 when I was looking at this at the end of 2022. So then we move to quarter two. So March, again, we've got this big, oh my gosh, this is this is new. Okay, where are we going with this? And then quarter two brings in this pure potentiality. It is ripe. It is ripe for the taking. It is ripe for all things to, begin to plant seeds, become fertile. Quarter two is that time where we're beginning to, grow our crops for the rest of the year. We're beginning to work our way towards harvest. So there's a lot of noise. It's very loud in quarter two. There's a lot of energy that is happening in it. You've got eclipse season starting. Um, there's a lot of maybe rearranging that needs to get done, but it's all potential. It's all things that like it's almost like that energy of no matter which decision you make, it's not going to be the wrong one. You just may have to change direction later on. But the one you make is the right one right at that time. And like there's just this energy of like pleasant chaos, right? It's busy. It's almost like we want to get out. We want to get out of our shell. We want to break free. We want to get out of the cave we've been hibernating in and go out in the sunshine and like, say hi to friends and take a trip, do things like that. Like there's a lot of just this, okay, I'm playing. Okay, I'm feeling good. All right, this is awesome. Hey, I'm doing some things. Oh, okay, I've got to rearrange that. No big deal. Nothing really feels heavy though, which is great. I love that for quarter two, especially, eclipses can be a heavier time depending upon where they fall in your chart. So the fact that I do feel such a buoyant energy in quarter two, that's awesome. I'm ready for that. Quarter three. All right. Well, quarter three is your foundation building. It is the time of harvest. So there is this like need at the very beginning of quarter three to look at and assess what's happening. Where is your soil? So again, it's harvest time. We're working towards harvest. We've got about 2.5 months at the start of quarter three until harvest really comes in. Um, where's your soil at? Does it have enough nutrients? Are you testing it? Does it need more things? Does it need more water? How's your irrigation system? How, all of the different things that it takes to cultivate something new. Where are you at with all of that? That's kind of July. It's this, I I deemed it the electric juggle. I don't know where it came from, popped into my head. That's what July is. It's this electric juggle of multiple different things that you have to do. Then in August, we have, and at, starting in July, we have that Venus retrograde in Leo. It is Leo season. And the word that came through for August, the phrase was the trip was much less pleasant than the destination. And so you've got this like juggling that you're going to do in July where you're like, okay, oh my gosh, is the soil ready? Oh my gosh, I need to make these adjustments. I need to do this. I need to rework my foundation. August, it's like, yo, I just wanted to like sit for a second and I just wanted to go to I wanted to go to Turkey and enjoy myself. But instead, I got like rerouted in 14 different plane trips. It's taken me 2 days to get there. And like, I wasn't, nobody was really friendly. I had really bad food. All of the things happened. Like this long, drawn out story of like what happened. And then you get there and you're like, well, fuck, this was the most amazing thing that's ever happened. I don't care how I got here. How I got here is how I got here. That was the journey. Now that I'm here, oh, we enjoying this. This was the best trip I ever took. I'm so happy I decided to do it. So that's a little bit of what August's flavor is going to be like. And then September comes in, and the two words there is resolution or revolution. And that's going to depend upon you. That's going to depend upon all of the energy, all the things that you're doing, all where you're at within your journey. Um, are you resolute in your foundation, or does your foundation need a revolution? And that's going to be a very interesting dynamic that's going to come through in September, which then leads us to quarter four, which has a little bit of heaviness right at the beginning. I do feel an intensity in October, but it's like the end of the year, the end of quarter four is so jolly. And I know that that sounds funny because December has that Christmas tradition of being jolly. You have Yule, it is a jollier time, but it really does feel that way. So, October, there's some sort of intensity that I'm feeling. I don't know why. I probably won't know, maybe not even until way after October is done and I can reflect back. But there's something to do with the ancestors in October. And now typically it is an ancestral month, right? We have um All Saints, All Souls, Samhain, we've got, the Halloween for Western society. So there's this, yes, the ancestors are normally always present at that time, but there's something different. We'll see what comes out when we get to October. Um, and then again, once that energy, we get through that, November and December is literally high reward. If you have placed high effort, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, if you've placed high effort, you will get high reward at the end of the year. Your harvest, what you have stored for the winter time, is going to be high reward. Um, and then at the very end of the year, again, this jolly feeling. But it's really great because my favorite two words that I didn't know that I needed in my life, being practically obsessed. What a word of Saturn, right? Like, this is a Saturn phrase and I love it. How do we become practically obsessed? And what are we obsessing about? Again, is it the practical things that we need in order to survive? Or is it, are we obsessed on the things that other people are doing, that the things that, this doesn't make me who I am, this doesn't enhance my being any? Like, there's so many different ways, but really get in and be obsessed with what moves you, with what your destiny is, with what your purpose in this life is. And working then to get into 2024 and all of the energies and the shifts for the rest of the decade. Because again, we're no longer playing on short term. Our goals are for the long run. The things that we are building and we have been building over the last couple of years are for the long term. Every step that we're taking isn't just a step towards a short term goal, it's a step towards this longer, bigger vision of our life and what we have. So, that is the quarter overviews. And now that that's all done, let's go ahead and get into the best part, the reading. All right, let me grab a little drink. Let me check chat. Think everything is good in the chat, at least what I am seeing. All right, so here's how this is going to go. I have the top. Oh, let me actually share. I will put links to all of these in the description box, by the way. So this is Toth Tarot. Um, I have that right here. I actually only pulled out the major arcanas. So we are going to pull one card for each quarter off of the top. That's going to be the overall energy. Then this deck is totally, I've never used this deck, by the way. I'm super excited about it. It is the Spellcasters Tarot. Again, everything will be in the description box afterwards on YouTube. So, Modern Spellcasters Tarot. Never used the deck, had it over here, totally called to me. So we will see what messages that has to come through. And then if we do need clarifiers, I have the mini Morgan Greer Tarot, which I just adore. I have the bigger size in this too. This is one of my favorite decks to use for readings. And then the last thing that I have, once we finalize whatever this message comes out as, each quarter I will pull. This is also something new. Never use these, but I did find this at Second and Charles, which is in Texas, and I believe other places, is a bookstore that I am obsessed with. And it is a runes box, so we'll pull a rune. So honoring ancestral um work here. Again, my ancestors speak to me, speak through me, so that way I can continue to do their work. I can continue to work on my destiny path. So I appreciate my ancestors for being here and leading and guiding this reading. All right, let's get started. So we have quarter one. Get these out of the way. Which remember is that reassessing the landscape. Again, it is a slower time frame right now, but we have the big energy shifts in March, and that is going to just really propel us into this year. There's so much that we can do, so much great things that we can do right now to get us ready for those shifts so we can take decisive action. All right, ancestors, what card do you have for the collective overall energy for quarter one, reassessing the landscape? Quarter one of 2023. Ooh, the star card. Oh, let me turn this for you guys. All right, the star card. Thank you. Let me put this over here. We're going to put this somewhere. There we go. That works. All right, so overall energy, the star card. Let me see if I can bring that up. Oh, there we go. Look at how beautiful. I love this deck. Again, haven't used this deck in readings either. I got this deck in New Orleans at the Marie Laveau's, and I I've seen this deck. I know other readers that use this deck, and I am just blown away with the symbology and the beauty of these cards. So let me take a look here. So Major Arcana Star card, this first quarter, this slowdown. This card is very much giving me the energy of like almost introspection. So the star card typically always has these two, right? It's a female, typically energy signature that is standing in water, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and has one of her chalices is being poured out, kind of like almost poured on her, and the other chalice is being poured onto the ground. And so it's almost like this, again, as we traverse these next 2 months, what are you getting from above and bringing out below? What are you have to be channeled in, you have to be quiet, you have to be contemplative, you have to assess, right? That was the word, assess. You have to be able to assess what messages you're getting. Are they for you? Are they for now? Are they potentially for later? Where do they fit within the grand scheme, the matrix of things, where you're at within your journey? Um, and there's a lot about this card too that I'm getting, like this wash away, right? Like allow the things that aren't for you to wash from you. Ancestors, let them go. Thank you. Thank you for cleansing our beings. But allow the things that can really propel you forward, that can bring you into this next energy signature, this new year, into the next stage of your development and journey. Allow that to stick and energize you. Allow that to bring you up and out. All right, let's see what kind. I'm going to push this over here. Let's see what kind of messages the cards have that goes with the overall. All right, ancestors, give me what you got. What kind of messages do you have for the collective for quarter 1, where we are reassessing this landscape in 2023? What are the messages? Okay, thank you. Beautiful. Strength out right away. Let's get 2 more. Oh, thank you. The world. All right, well, maybe it's major arcana time and I just didn't know it. All right, let's go one more. Let's see what we have. Whoop. And the 2 of Pentacles. Love it. Perfect. All right. I'll get my little deck ready too. All right. So, reassessing the landscape, quarter 1. Messages immediately coming through. First card out was the Strength card. This again in the spellcasters. Let me just take a okay, I thought those were frogs. They kind of look like little serpents in the water. The Strength card is all about courage, right? Courage to face these messages, face what you're interpolating. For some of us, this could be a brand new journey of getting involved with your intuition. It could be a brand new journey of actually understanding that the tugs and the pulls that you've been getting are valid, and it's okay. It's part of your journey. You are gifted. If you get messages and downloads from other star systems, from the ancestors, if you can interpret messages from spirit, all of those things, for some, that could be a brand new journey right now. And there is courage that is needed. There's courage that you need to stand in your power and know that your gifts are yours, know that they are unique to you, know that not everybody, got your gifts. You didn't get everybody else's gifts, and that's completely okay. And working through, you know, how you how you're changing your world, how you're changing not only your world for yourself, but your inner world, and then from that, the outer world, in which case then that changes humanity, right? Because again, one of the things that I have learned on my journey is this isn't about me. This has nothing to do with me. And at the same time, it has everything to do with me. It has nothing to do with me because what we are here for is to be part of a bigger consciousness, a bigger collective, a bigger energy source. We to understand that we are connected as a whole. But then it is all about me because I am the one that has to have strength and courage, listen to my inner voice, my the stars essentially, um change my inner world so and be be that light forward, be able to do this. I will tell you right now, 3 years ago, terrified to read cards. Terrified to read cards. It was 2018 when I first read cards. I've had tarot decks, um, but I was terrified because I had to let go. I had to find the strength to let go and wash away all of the programming that I have had since I was born. All of the programming that told me that tarot cards were witchcraft and, they were, it was something sinful. It wasn't appropriate. It was XXX, right? Everybody hears the story. Um, so it's now we're here. I've changed that for myself. And now I'm able to live more on my path and on my journey and able to. Oh, hold on. We got a card down. Oh, give me a minute. We got a card down. Obviously, there was something that needs to be said. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. 5 of Cups. I this is the process going through. This is the process. This is what, and I am putting it on top of the world because the world it's this change. It's changing this narrative for yourself. This was me prior to 2018. This was me prior to my first ever card reading. This was me prior to, my awakening, if you will. And it's this is what we are being asked to change. This is like, look, you have all of this spilling out, right? You got these cups that are spilling out. Woe is me. This is the card of woe is me. Somebody be my pity party. Somebody help me be the victim. I just want to spread that around. Yeah, we don't need that. Why? Because if you actually just lifted your head up, you'd see you still have two cuppeth fulls of things that you're doing. You still have the ability to change the world, your inner world and the outer world. Just get a little bit of courage. Just get a little bit of courage. Lift your head up. Look at the cups. Turn around, look at everything. Because again, quarter 1, we are assessing. Take January and February and assess where you're at. Don't be looking down at what hasn't been accomplished yet, what you haven't been doing, what every day that you wake up and you take a breath, you have the option to change your world. You have the option to look up. You have the option to let those three, let this pour over you. You have the option to just let that all go and make a different choice. Bring a little bit of balance to your life. Bring a little bit of fun. Bring a little bit, again, this is the Two of Pentacles, but what I love that I am seeing within this deck is this reminds me so much of the Fool card in the Major Arcana, that this is the Fool. This is the Fool. The Fool is jolly. It's Aries. It's brand new energy. It's this new adventure that I'm going on. And look, he is just freewheeling. Like, yes, I can do whatever I want. As long as I remain in balance, as long as I don't let these things drop. And if I do, cool, they're going to drop. But guess what? I can pick them right back up and keep going. My dog's got a lunch. Look, can we see? Yeah, dog's got a lunch. I'm set. Fuck else do I need? I got water. I got friends because my friends are in these boats here. I've got my best friend, my dog, and my dog's got lunch. Shit's fucking great. This is awesome. I'm so happy right now. And, it's getting through this process. So if there is some of this stagnance, if there, again, assess your landscape, look up, find your other cups, find what you can take a little step forward on, find what you can bring forward as far as strength and courage. Um, Taming the beast is another way to interpret the strength card, is taming that beast maybe inside of you, the this gnawing in the head a little bit, right? Taming the voice in the head, this voice of woe is me, I can't complete, look at I'm a loser, look at I can't do all of these things, and instead completely taking the world, literally changing that around and going, shit, I'm a fucking goddess. Look at her. Serious though. Look at her. I'm a fucking goddess. We're great. I am a divine being. I am here changing my life. And with that, I am fully embracing everything that I am. I wonder if these are holly. They kind of look like a little holly. I'm gonna actually go and look in the book a little bit later to find out what those are. And I that is there's something about this whatever plant this is. If you know what it is, put it in the chat. um there's something about that is really calling to me. So that might be a message for somebody out there. If you do know what it is, if that reminds you of something, again, listen to those messages, listen to what it's telling you. Does it resonate with you? If it doesn't, let it go. This is where we're at. We're bringing balance back into life. We are changing our world. We're no longer stuck in this narrative. We're using our strength and courage in order to look up and reassess this landscape. Because again, when March comes, these are the things that you are going to need to get through March. This is not going to serve you in March. That March, Saturn and Pluto ain't going to have none of that shit. Period. Dot. And then you've got the eclipses right after in April. Oh no, 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 no. Mm-mm. Um, so this is going to be what you need to move through. This is where March really comes in and where you can really have that take action moment. Be decisive, know where you're going, change your world, have that courage, and embrace everything that you are. All right, runes. That's all the messages coming through. Well, hello, Evolutionary Gaming '07. This is you have found a tarot reading. So thank you so much for joining. If you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. So runes box. Again, brand new. We are going to pull a rune for quarter 1 before we head over to quarter 2. So let's take a look. What rune do we have for the collective for quarter 1? All right. Let me put this back over here. Let's see what we have here. So I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to pronounce these. If somebody does, definitely let me know. But this translation means authority. And let me see if I can make that there. How's that a little bit clearer for everyone? Authority. So, earthly meaning, justice, passion, drive, victory. Spiritual meaning, the greater good and righteousness. Can't make it up. You can't make it up. This to me signifies that movement into Aquarius with Pluto, right? It is about the greater good. It is about that righteousness. Saturn's movement into Pisces. So the way that I am hearing and interpreting all of this is, again, what you have to leave behind. Um, what messages are coming for you, making sure that you're assessing that, really honing in on your internal strength, changing your world, balancing things out. So that way, as in March, when these things change, there's this drive for victory. there is a process that's happening within you that is for the greater good. There's a righteousness coming forward. There is passion within the things that you bring out. I think, yep, that's all we got. That's all the ancestors got for us. So that is quarter one. Let me put everything away and then we can move over to quarter two. All right. So let me get these shuffled a little bit. These ones, I got the larger size deck of these. They had a smaller one. This is way more challenging to shuffle than I was expecting. All right, so we're going to do the quarter two reading, and then I'm going to take a short break and come back for the final two quarters. All right, so here we go. Quarter two ancestors, quarter two full of pure potential. What is the overall message for quarter two? What is the overall message for the collective that you have for quarter two? All right. That is where we are going right away. Same card, same energy signature. Very interesting. I the way that I'm interpreting and what I'm feeling into with this is there's a lot about March that flows into April. There's a lot of the tie where March is really that jumping off point, even though it is still in a quarter one aspect that bleeds into the start of quarter two and is really going to be the energy signature for quarter two, right? For the long term. Um, there's also, I just got the image of Pluto. Remember when we were talking earlier, like just dipping into that frigid water for that like breath. There's a little bit that I'm getting with this star card in that arena too, where it's like, because again, hold on, let me make sure I have my dates right. Pluto gets in on March 23rd. So we are almost at the beginning of April when Pluto hits that 0 degrees of Aquarius. And this to me, I can see, especially down here. Here, let me bring this closer. Like, here is this crystalline energy down here. And here, this person is like ingrained in it, stuck in it, like dipping their feet in it. The energy it's hardcore. Look, Pluto and Aquarius, it's hardcore. For people that take cold baths, cold showers, do that's hardcore. What were we watching? Was it Chris Helmsworth? I think it was Chris Helmsworth where he went to Iceland and like did a swim in the Arctic. That's like Arctic plunges. That's hardcore. That's intense. That is Pluto coming into Aquarius. It's that intensity. And where this star card, for quarter one had a little bit of a different meaning coming into it. This one for quarter two, again, we talked about there's a lot of loudness. It's this is now like that energy of hardcore, loud. Um being in the midst of everything. Again, there's a chaos within quarter two, a pleasantness. Yes, I said it was like lifty and airy, which I do feel that, but it's you're here and you can't get out of it. Like that's really what it is you're here, you can't get out of it, so you might as well play. Might as well have fun. Might as well do what you need to do. Might as well pull some cards, right? So let's see what the ancestors have for us. Quarter two. What energy do you have for the collective for quarter 2 of 2023, ancestors? Oh my God, I love it. 10 of Cups, first out. Two more, please. Let's get two more. What do you have? Two more, two more. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting, riding a squirrel. All right, one more, please, ancestors. Thank you. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. All right. So let me put this off to the side and let's think about this. Let me feel into these. This squirrel is tripping me out right now. Has anybody seen I think his name is Richard the squirrel on TikTok. Um like squirrels are they are such interesting creatures, highly intelligent creatures. I can see why, like, again, this it is a knight, right? This is his chosen steed of war. Um, his or her chosen steed of war. There's an intelligence here. There is an intelligence in the earthly matters, in how you are going about um laying your foundations down. There is a observance. It's like this Knight of Pentacles is almost that quiet warrior, right? The warrior that doesn't do a lot of the talking, just kind of sits back and is always at like the back of the table in the back corner of the room and allows everybody else to be chaotic, um argue, do the things, but his is the only opinion that matters. He or she is the one that the king looks to for advice because there's that observance to it. Because this knight is always seeing the long vision, always seeing the longer term, always looking and going, you know what? This isn't the fight that we should be in. This isn't where we should be right now. We need to be thinking about something differently. And as the world gets loud, right? 10 of Cups is a 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. These are celebration cards, right? S- Celebration on top of celebration, emotional celebration on top of financial, stable, all the Taurian things, earthly things, celebration sandwiched is this night of quiet contemplation of, all right, yeah, y'all be loud. Y'all be loud. Keep going. Just know we've got still two more quarters. Just know we've still got this energy that we've got to get through. Just know there should be time to celebrate. Celebration is a wonderful thing. You should be patting yourself on the back, but you should always have that one eye on what's next. What Okay, great. This was a huge win. I'm taking time to celebrate that win. I'm taking time to be loud. I'm taking time to enjoy the merriment. But I'm not forgetting that tomorrow morning I still have to wake up with the sunrise and plant my fucking seeds. That's it. Like, we can have all the merriment we want. Shit still got to get done tomorrow morning. Like, that's how frank this Knight of Pentacles is. And like the 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups, this is the high emotion card. This is the emotional stability. 5, 7 of Pentacles as well. So I am seeing this as, so the 7, okay, yep. Actually, I'm going to place this right between the two because the 7 of Pentacles signifies hard work, your reward for hard work done. Let me take a look at Saturn's journey real quick. So April, May, June. So Saturn goes retrograde in June. So he will be covering those first 7 degrees in this quarter 2. Okay, this is making much more sense because I'm getting such a Saturny vibe from this Knight of Pentacles and coming in here. So 7 of Pentacles. This is your reward for hard work. In my opinion, this is the card of Saturn from the minor arcana, right? So here you have somebody who diligently put in the work, is tilling the soil, doing the things he needs to do, is focused on the future, focused on the things that are going to bring him abundance and wealth and all those other things. And his all of his hard work is paying off. Everything, all of the foundations he's set, all of the seeds he's planted, they're bearing fruit. They're bearing fruit monetarily. They're bearing fruit in the earthly realm, right? It comes back to this 10 of Pentacles. So it's through this diligent work, it's that you get to this 10 of Cups. If you just went straight from, hey, I didn't really put in a lot of work, but I did some things. Yeah, I got there kind of half-assed it. Still got there though, didn't I? Your reward is not going to be as fruitful as if you actually did the work you are being called to do. The star card, again, it is this connection to the higher sphere. How are you receiving the messages? What are the things you need to do? And how are you bringing that out into the earthly realm? How are you bringing it out into what you're planting, what foundations you're laying, into what accountabilities you're taking for yourself? This Knight of Pentacles has all the accountability. If he or she, this knight, fucks up, they're going to say, I fucked up. My squirrel and me, we fucked up. We went the wrong way. We told you to go and do that. It didn't work out. That's okay because I can see where else to go. This isn't the only acorn on my path. And the other thing I'm getting with this 10 of Cups is friendship, right? So typically the 10 of Cups is like this celebration card. It's normally like a man and a woman, signifying like this great celebration of unity between two people. But I love that this card is more depictive. And again, here's two sun symbols, is more depictive of friendship, right? So there could be a lot within quarter 2. Again, as that ripeness and loudness is coming out, as you have this buoyancy, and I talked about it, you want to get out, you want to go do things, you want to be with your friends. That friends could play a really large role in this, but it's in this duality and this balance. It's in knowing, like, yes, again, going out with friends is awesome. Going and having fun is awesome. Remember, you got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Remember, you still got like all of the things that you need to do, all of the rituals, all of the habits, all of the, um, all of these things that you've put into place either long term from years back or just started in quarter 1. Don't let the celebration get away from you. Continue to have that diligence where it needs to be, because what will happen if that, in this balance, in this ability to do both, is you're going to have this 10 of Pentacles, because emotional fulfillment's great. Love emotional fulfillment. We also are humans and have to live on the earth. So, earthly fulfillment in the form pentacles again represent our money. It represents homes. It represents like financial support things, right? It is whatever money gets us that can be incorporated into the 10 of Pentacles, right? So you have a home here, you've got a strong family. Look at all of the harvest. You've got many children in the background. There's our friend the dog again, right? You've got um a partnership. It's all of these things that we can get. So we want both. We want to be emotionally fulfilled. We want to have that fulfillment come out in our worldly goods. And the way to get there is here. This night, this diligence, this work, this taking the messages that Spirit's giving you, making sure that they flow through you, and then doing the work with them, putting it out there. And all of that, don't get stuck in the sauce, right? This pleasant chaos, this buoyancy, this loudness, make sure, and especially with the star card now twice, make sure you're taking time for you. Make sure that you're taking time to um and these huge gigantic energy shifts in March. Make sure you are taking time to really have that moment of self-care, have that moment of mental care, take time away for yourself, put habits in place that are healthy for your brain, your being, your body, your mind, soul, spirit. um that can also be very important right now at this time. Quarter two. All right. I mean, all time, let's just be real, but we're specifically speaking in quarter two here as all the loud and chaos is happening. All right, so I am going to say ISA. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but I'm trying to get it to not glare. There you go. So this is translation is ice. Its earthly meaning is obstacle, standstill, caution, patience. Spiritual meaning, inner calm, surrender, introspection. I don't know if y'all know, but that was right there. That is where it belongs. It belongs between your emotional fulfillment and your earthly fulfillment. There is going to be things that you are going to need to work through. There is going to be battles on the horizon that you are going to have to go in and face. And a lot of that is going to be that energy coming in from March, right? Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, the node shifting, like eclipse season, all of those things. It is no lie that this translation is ice. We that ice of Pluto coming into Aquarius and just really just that initial dip in, that is here. There is something that is going to require patience. It's going to require this introspection. Again, I just got done. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in quarter two. How do you get rid of the noise? How do you get rid of the chaos? So that way you can have both of these that come through. All right. I'm going to put this up here. No more messages. We are done. Awesome. All right. We're done. Let me get these out. All right, everyone. I am going to take just a quick break, go grab some water, much needed water. Um, be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Again, taking a break. Be back in about 5 minutes. All right, all right. Here we go. Back for quarter three. Got a little hydrated. Love some water. Took a little bit more Dutch Bros. Got some, again, if you don't have a Dutch Brothers, I'm sorry, but this is one of my favorite coffee spots. It is a extremely large cold brew, and it's got some vanilla and white chocolate flavoring in it with soft top. It's cheers. All right, we are moving on to quarter three. Let's take a look now and see what we have for quarter three. So, again, if you are just joining, did not see quarter one and quarter two, you can go back and check it out as soon as this is over and uploaded to both YouTube and Twitch. But this is again, I will make sure all of these are in the description box on YouTube, but this is the Hoth Tarot. We are going to be pulling one of the major arcana off of this deck to give kind of that overall energy of the quarter. We have the Modern Spellcasters Tarot as well, which is this deck, which will pull some additional messages about the quarter. And then I have my baby Morgan Greer Tarot, which I love dearly, which is this deck that we can pull for clarifying cards. And once that is done, we will pull from the runes box and pull a rune for maybe just that like additional inspiration for the quarter. So we've got two more quarters to go, quarter three, quarter four. Let's get started with quarter three. All right. Again, gigantic cards. So a little awkward doing like a traditional shuffle, but I'm sure trying. We're sure trying out here. So, quarter three, just for those that either are new joining or just a refresher memory, is all about the like, all right, we've assessed soil in quarter two. We've done some assessments. We've taken decisive action in quarter one. It's kind of loud, chaotic, pleasantly chaotic, very buoyant energy in quarter two. And then quarter three is like, all right, well, hopefully we assess soil. We need to make sure our soil's good. We need to make sure our water levels are good. And we need to make sure it's fertile. We need to make sure that it's actually going to produce what it needs to produce as we head towards harvest. And now it's just that cultivation of getting our harvest to bloom. So, quarter three is a lot about those new foundations. There's some very interesting energy as we go through July, August, and September, which let's see what the cards say. So, first off, ancestors. What do you have as the overall card for quarter three of 2023 for the collective? What do you have for this reading? The Fool. Love it. New foundations. Let me make this go this way for you. New foundations. Nothing like the Fool to bring in the new. I really love the imagery in this deck. This deck is just very, very happy with the purchase. So, the Fool card, it's a zero, net zero. We are starting brand new. This is Aries. This is um, the journey. It's how you're going to jump forward, move forward throughout what you're setting into play. I'm sorry, there's like so many messages coming in right now because there's a lot of very interesting symbology in here. So in a traditional Rider Waite style tarot deck, the Fool is seen like he's got the stick over the shoulder with the bag. He's about ready to like jump off a cliff, and he's got his little dog following behind him. Dogs have been coming up a lot, like all through quarter one, quarter two. We've had a dog um, in every conversation, and this is a very different type of Fool energy from the traditional Rider Waite. There's a lot of, again, I'm using the word symbolism, but it's almost like there's a lot of ties. And I'm seeing it as like ties back to ties back to who you are as a being, who your ancestors were, it's like this I am of everything that came before me, and I will be of everything that comes after me. That's the message that I just got from this card. Is yes, it's a new journey, but it's within these new journeys that you lay another, like I keep seeing these loops and these layers that are all connected together. You keep adding another loop to your presence that is going to live on beyond you. It is tied to your ancestry of the past, and it moves forward with you into the future. So let's see what other messages come through on here. All right, ancestors, what do you have for quarter three? All right, Knight of Wands. Gotta love action. Ooh, that is some swift action right there. Like on the hunt, on the prowl. What are two more cards that you have for us? Oh, look at that. Oh, let's see. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Moon. All right. Grab my tiny deck. This here. All right. So, July. I talked about this electric juggle. So, and then August, let me just kind of get all through. So, August is the trip was far less pleasant than the destination. And September is resolution or revolution. So, if I'm looking through each of these cards, I'm almost seeing it as like this is July, this is August, this is September. And the common theme through all of that is you. Is you actually taking the steps forward from the last two quarters, from all the messages that you got. Yes, you've been doing diligent work in quarter two, right? We saw that. We had the pentacles there. You've gotten this high reward, both emotionally and hopefully in the physical realm. All things are tying together. You're working, you're moving. But there's something here about the Fool that's like quarter three is how are you going to move in a new way? How are you when the going gets? How are you going to get going? Quarter four is a lot about this high effort will yield high reward. So, where are you placing effort? King of Cups or Knight of Cups. Are you placing effort in your emotional stability, in fulfilling you with the things that you need to be fulfilled with? Belongs on the Fool. Because really, this quarter three, I just continue to feel that this is all about you. This is all about how you're moving through the world. It's all about July, how you're juggling, how you're juggling maybe family life with your physical, like the things that you're bringing in for your family, how you're juggling education, even how you're juggling this, this card is really calling to me, especially as we're talking about the ancestors. Hello, dear. I am fine. How are you doing? Um, how are you juggling becoming older? How are you juggling knowing that your time on this earth is not forever? How are you juggling? How are you under inner standing, not understanding, inner standing that we're all going to die? We all have this, right? This is our moment. This is our moment. So what new am I going to take? What things am I going to do? Because this card to me, this Three of Pentacles, hold on, I need to put this down. This Three of Pentacles to me, like, look at how happy this man is. First of all, he's got a Celtic knot, but like, look at how happy this man is spreading his knowledge and his wealth with others, teaching the next generation, supporting the next generation, leaving his legacy. So as he ages, as he gains wisdom, as he gets towards that end pathway, his transition, what has he left behind? And that, again, July is all about this electric juggle. That could be huge awakenings because we've got now this new energy. We've got Pluto in Aquarius. We've got Saturn. We've got all this new energy coming in. And it's almost like, whoa, where am I within all of that? Where am I? How am I taking care of myself? How am I fulfilling my emotional needs? A little bit back to that kind of end of quarter 2, right? Then in August, we have the trip was far less pleasant than the destination. Amazing that a bird comes out, right? Flight, trip, movement. It is a fire. Wands are all about fire. It's all about the action we're taking. Um, and the Knight of Wands, you saw in the other one, that knight was on a squirrel, right? Earthbound. It was a pentacle. So it's very earthbound energy where fire is it's air-ish, right? It's the wand. But this is that, like, even the colors, it's movement towards autumn. How are you moving towards autumn? Because this is what quarter 3 is all about. August is one of the first points in time in the northern hemisphere where we begin to harvest. Now, that typically, like, depending upon what it is, most of the time that's going to be in September, but you're getting there. You're getting to the fall. You're getting to the equinox and Mabon, and you're getting to that point where you can celebrate and then continue to harvest September, October, November to prepare for winter, to prepare for that hibernation period. And here is this bird and this knight, which is, that knights in the deck themselves are initiatory energy. It's like they're the ones that actually go out and do the things in order for the king and queen to sit on their throne, in order for all of the abundance and blessings and all of these other things to come through for us. So the knights are the ones that are like carrying out the tasks needed in order to remain in that sovereign power of your king and queen. And this trip this trip to get to this fall, this trip, this campaign, let's call it, right? Knights go out on campaigns. This campaign that you're going to go on, and this could have a lot to do, again, this is fire. Leo is the ruler of fire. We have Venus in Leo retrograding during August. Um, this trip may not be what you thought it was going to be. But that doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile. It's not emotionally fulfilling, but just in a different way. Why are you so stuck, right? Why are you so stagnant on that it had to come out this way? Or why is it just because the trip was bumpy, the trip had really heavy winds, this hawk was, decided it wanted to stop for some fucking lunch and like sidetracked you. Um, just because all of those things happen, does that mean that the destination is bad? Destination and journey are two different things, and they can be two different experiences. So, it's really putting into that perspective. It's this utilizing this time in July when you're kind of juggling and you're, in this space of perspectiveness. You're learning about this new, you're taking care of this emotional inside that you have, this emotional need to like grow and develop and do the things that you want to do. How are you going to use that in August when, the trip was far less pleasant than the destination? How are you going to talk about it? How are you going to interpret it? How are you going to support it? How are you going to make it part of your story and your wisdom that you get to pass on? It's all in how you choose to react to it, and that's the gift of Saturn, right? Saturn in Pisces at this time. Okay, the trip was far less pleasant. Did you ignore it? Did you own it? Did you run away from it? What did you do? What did you do? How are, tell me more. I have questions, right? What did you do? Okay, well, so you didn't enjoy the trip? No, I enjoyed it very much. Okay, so was it as bad as you thought it was? So these are all the questions that Saturn can bring, and Saturn in Pisces may make you want to like, yeah, I just want to disappear. This, I just want to forget about it. Well, you shouldn't forget about it. It was part of your journey. It was important. So that is really this kind of, it's a mixed bag in August, and I'm even jumbled talking about it because I think it's going to be very, very personal for everyone. I think this knight's journey, whatever this knight is going to bring in and whatever journey he has to take towards the autumn season, towards Mabon, is going to be very personal for each individual. And there may be a need of time for reflection. Look, like if this knight ain't reflecting, there's going to be a need of reflection, a time for reflection. I can't even get other cards. I've been shuffling this whole time. There's not a lot of other messages here. Um, for clarity, it's literally like you may have to wait for a couple of months, maybe even into quarter four, maybe even into 2024 to really understand what this trip was for you, what this journey was for you, and all of the blessings that came out of it. So, but we still have the Fool here. You need to take the journey. You still got to do it. You still got to go. And then in September, woo, all right, we did get one more, but we talk about September, so we're going to put it right with the moon. The 4 of Rods, again, more fire energy. This is the energy of union and celebration. It is the 1111 card. It's the marriage card. It's this tying together, this wreath that ties together two separate parts of yourself, two separate parts of your energy systems, the masculine and feminine. It can absolutely, again, if you brought it down into earthly realm, depending upon what you're doing. But given the fact that September is all about resolution or revolution, I think it's almost like tying these two concepts together and figuring out where you're at within the union of both of those words, right? Resolution and revolution. What is being resolved for you? What full journey are you taking to gain resolution in the areas that you need to gain resolution in? Maybe it's something that you learned in this July, August journey, um, and then you have this revolution happening at the same time, which is illuminating, right? We've got the moon card here. Um, illuminating. Oh, that's really interesting. Sorry, I got distracted by all these little like drops of moonshine that are just coming down. Look at, hold on, let me put this down. Like there are all these little drops coming down, and it's almost like moonbeams are like dropping down, but it's almost like your revolution in understanding what this sky song is for you, right? You've got these wolves here, these dog and a wolf are baying. They're baying at the moon, and it's almost like interpreting what that revolutionary song is for you. where are you revolutionizing? Where are you using this full energy to revolutionize your life? And the moon, we can't forget the moon is an internal card. It is a feminine card. It is a receiving card. So this could be, how are you resolutioning or revolutioning your internal systems, your internal processes, your feeling, your emotions, your how you approach things, how you interpret the world around you. Again, if we think back to July and this card where, the message that came through was this gentleman like understanding, hey, I'm an older person. I've officially reached older person category. How is that affecting me now? And it's almost like this journey that they went on to find out, like, I understand now. I understand why the wolf howls at the moon. I understand why that's so absolutely important to my revolution of self, why I need to do it, why I need to celebrate it, and how both can be present. Resolution and revolution can be present all in the same moment. Birth and death, all at the same time. So, all right. I'm not getting any other cards. Let's see. I did get another King of Cups come out. Lots of emotions in quarter 3. I just had looked down and it had flipped over. So um again, just emotions with action. Like emotions and action. Go through your emotions, do your action, keep rolling. Just keep trucking. Because we've got quarter 4 where we've got high effort, high reward. You're setting new foundations. It's going to be emotional. Keep going through it. Keep going through the process of reinventing yourself over and over and over again. All right, let's see what we have for the rune card for quarter 3. Oh, look at that. Came right out. All right, again, this is new rune cards for me. I am not going to pretend that I understand how to pronounce the names of these runes, so I will read the translation, which is, let me see if I can get this a little clearer for everyone. There we go. Which is secret, earthly meaning, chance, gambling, secret, windfall, synchronicity, birth, spiritual meaning, fate, the feminine, uncertainty. I'm going to put that right here because I feel like it has a lot to do with this moon card and this celebration. So, yeah, I mean, look, life is a game of chance, life's a gamble. There is this, again, I just talked about, right? Like this process of birth and renewal, birthing over and over and over again, starting something new over and over and over again, allowing things to process, going through that emotional process as you need to, but also understanding at the end that there is this, um, there's this finite part of life that we have to acknowledge. And that, again, I love this word windfall with the Knight of Wands here speaking through August. So that should be interesting. And then, two, again, the feminine right here with the moon, right? It's secret. What secrets are you holding within you that may need resolution or revolution as you get into September? All right. Feeling it. I think everything. Yep, that's going to be about it. Just checking to see if there's any other chat. Let's head now to the last quarter. These all back. All right, let's head to quarter 4. Take a sip of water real quick. All right. So quarter four, as a reminder, if you didn't see earlier, quarter four has some intensity to start out with. The intensity of October, the intensity of this final moment of the Taurus Scorpio lunar node access. It is the start of our second eclipse season of 2023. Again, I talked about no idea why, but the ancestors are showing up heavy for me in October. I'm sure as we get closer and closer, we will understand more. um, but really, quarter four is all about this high effort yielding high reward, allowing you this freedom to expand, allowing you this freedom to go deeper, farther, um, just like taking everything in. And at the end of it all, being able to sit back and like literally be jolly. There is such a jolliness at the end of the year. There is such a, like, I don't feel heavy at all speaking on quarter four once you get out of October. Like, if you've done everything that you need to do, you're going to be great. And my favorite term right now, practically obsessed. What are we going to be practically obsessed about at the end of the year? So let's take a look. Quarter four, what is the overall card ancestors for quarter four, where we have freedom to expand? Ooh, the Hierophant. Very nice card to come out with that message. Grab this. All right. So I want to pull the three cards first and then see how the Hierophant intertwines. Lots of Taurus energy. The number five, number of change. All right. So, ancestors, what do you have for quarter? Well, okay. Thank you. Eight of Swords. There's October. Ooh, too many. All right. Ancestors, thank you. They obviously have enough to say about quarter four. The Empress and more Taurian energy. All right. So, what do we have for the last card for quarter four? Thank you very much. Knight of Swords. I think we've gotten every night. I'm pretty sure we've gotten every night in this reading, which is awesome. So, again, that to me, I want to start there because that's significant in the aspect that with every night here, again, knights go on campaigns. Knights are the ones that do the work in order for the sovereigns to sit on throne and continue to lead, continue to develop, continue to create kingdoms, create longevity, create peace and happiness within their kingdom. So with all of the knights here, and yes, we've gotten some kings. We definitely have the empress here. Um, but with all these knights here, what in 2023, it's a lot of action of self being taken in order to set your foundations for your kingdom, in order to keep your kingdom going in the correct trajectory that it needs to go. It's a work year. Look, high effort will yield high reward. Quarter four, that's what's going to happen. So as we again go through these energies and as we go through these quarters, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind is there's a high reward at the end of all of this. If I can continue to be that knight, go on those campaigns, do the work, right? It's all about doing the work, not escaping, not allowing some of these energies to pull a veil over my eyes and not let me actually face what needs to be faced, work through what needs to be worked through, take the risks that are appropriate for me in my timeline. So, man, look at all of, I'm sorry. Yeah, Look at all of the bulls. First of all, every freaking card. I don't know if this is a bull. I'm going to say it's a bull because it's got the fucking horn. I don't know. We're going to go with it. Every card. The Hierophant is tied to Korean themes. Um, ooh, uh-oh. There we go. Look, right away. Um, you have a bull in the back of the Eight of Swords. You have a bull here with the Empress as her chosen steed. Look, the this bull even has like a flower garland around its neck. Like it's a um like the Empress has blessed this bull. This is my chosen warrior that I go through life with, that I gained my kingdom with, right? And then here in this Knight of Swords, here's his steed that he is literally going into battle. Literally going into battle. I don't know what that means, but maybe more info will come out because Horus, Bull, um, if that's a message for anybody, please leave it in the comments. Let me know how you interpreted that, if you were getting any messages. But definitely worth noting. It might be worth even looking up the spiritual meaning of bulls or cows, um, and seeing what comes up. Go look at where the Taurus area of your natal chart is and see how that's going to play out for you in this year. Because remember, we are at quarter 4. We have freedom to expand. Taurus is the sign that allows us, it is fixed earth, right? So, second sign of the zodiac, second house, fixed earth that allows us to build our essentially foundations, but foundations in the real world. So these are going to be things like money. They're going to be things like supply chains. They're going to be things like food and clothing, anything that we need as a human to exist in this earthly plane. Chorus is the ability for us to gain those things. And it is also all about our senses. It's about our touch, our feel, our taste, our sight, all of our earthly senses, not so much of the higher sense, the sixth sense, if you will. It's really about grounded energy. It's about how do we feel safe and secure, which this person, I mean, to be completely honest, like let's just look. Yeah, I don't think that there's a lot of safety or security in here, especially in the 10 of swords. But in this one, it's almost like I am secure. It's very interesting. Like this card, this 8 of swords. So swords are our air. They're the communication. They're the 8 of swords in particular can be a lot about like what bindings do you need to break through, what communication bindings, where's your throat chakra, what are you not saying, what are you keeping internalized that is turning up this fire that is keeping you stuck and stagnant. It's a stagnant energy. There's no movement here. Again, fixed earth. But for all other purposes, like you can interpret this card too if you really look at him. Like, yes, I get he's tied up, but maybe he's doing that on purpose. Maybe there's a reason. All who wonder are not lost, right? When you look at something, when you see somebody, you don't know that journey or that story. You don't know where they're at. They could very well be exactly where they want to be. And that's that ownership and um allowing that ownership to pass through you so that way you can move on to the next thing. So that way you can become a knight, right? Like this. So when you're training to be a knight, because the knight's the one, remember, goes on campaigns, gets all the glory, gets all the things for us. When you're learning to become a knight, there's a lot of you that has to die. There's a lot of your fears that have to die, right? I mean, knights are in fights, they see death, they even, um, you know, they may even kill, they may get punched in the face. Ever been punched in the face? No. Okay, well, you got to get over that. There's one of your swords in your back. Once you get punched in the face, you know what it feels like. You ain't afraid of it no more. Okay, off we go. I know I can handle that. Right? So, what are you releasing? What is being laid to rest, particularly in October, particularly as we meet our eclipse season, the second eclipse season? What has like, what is in its finality? What is finally being laid to rest that you can confidently break your bonds with, that you can confidently transition to, because I'm actually looking at this almost like a V, right? Like you have got to confidently move through, break these fears, let something die in order for you to break these bonds and become the knight of your story that you always knew that you were. Because the Empress here, she's your high reward. She is your practically obsessed. She is your vision, your path forward. This Empress is the one she is waiting in your kingdom, right? She's waiting for you to join her. She's waiting for you to embody all that she is. But she's also a warrior, right? She's got her shield here. She's got her steed. Now, they might look all relaxed, but she earned this. She earned it by breaking her bonds. She earned it by killing off the fears that were holding her back, allowing the things that to die that needed to die. And she earned it through going on her campaigns, through taking the action that she needed, the necessary action, the necessary pass forward in order to secure her empire. Because this is an empress. This is not a queen. This we ain't talking kingdoms no more. Wait, let me rephrase that. We ain't talking kingdom no more. We're talking empire. That's that long-term vision. That's what you're working for. Your short term goal is your kingdom. Your long term goal is your empire, your legacy, what you leave behind once you're gone, what you're bringing forward from your ancestry. And it's this, again, if you can get through this part of it, if you can release what needs to be released, if you can break these bonds, or again, this may be some sort of like with the Hierophant here. This could be for some of you in October, because I am feeling this card is heavy in October. Um, is maybe this might be a little self-imposed. Hierophant, internal, grounding. I need to be for a moment. I need to go on a solo journey for a second. I need to interpolate things. I need to understand. I need to communicate with a higher power. I need to get into these messages and deem what these messages are for me. You could be in this state and put yourself there because you're like, you know what? There's a lot going on right now. I just had this whole revolution moment. I need to go inside. I totally think my video just went out. By the way, I was like, oh no. It's fine. We still got the cards. We still got this video. We'll keep rocking. Um, but it is this time to like, okay, maybe I just need to take a moment. I need to go internal. I need to keep people away from me. Um, and let me go ahead and get there. Y'all don't need to look at that. And keep people away from me so that way I can do the process that I need to do in order to create the empire that I am looking to create. Right. The other thing that the Hierophant is bringing in is this is being practically obsessed. There's, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I need to be obsessed about. Um, like, for example, where we want to buy land. I am practically obsessed about buying land right now. Practically, in that I know that there's a lot that I don't know about owning acreage and about raising animals and things of that. So I understand all of that, but I'm still obsessed. This is my empire. My husband and I are working on our empire. So I'm practically obsessed and I am learning and I am taking the time to learn. I am taking the time and the effort that is needed to expand myself in order to gain that kingdom. It's going to probably take me being in a little bit of solitude for a minute or understanding like I don't know everything. I have to let go of my fears about what that means. And then I have to go on campaign and I've got to learn and I've got to take action towards those things. I have to gain that understanding because at the end of all of it is me sitting on my rock with my noble steed, like loving every minute of life. And my husband, the emperor, is somewhere around, he's somewhere in the deck getting shit done. So that is quarter four. And let's go ahead. Oh, well, nothing more needed there. Here we have the rune for quarter four. It is a talisman rune, and it's saying that you should carry this card to open your mind, connect with a higher power, broaden your horizon, and invoke wisdom. And this is what it looks like here. Let me try to see if I can get a little clearer picture for you. And this is absolutely what the Hierophant is here for. Open your mind, right? Allow these fears, connect with your higher power, connect with a higher power, whatever that means for you. Broaden your horizons, go out on that campaign and invoke that wisdom, right? Invoke that wisdom from within. And then right in the center of it all is your high reward. Awesome. Okay. Well, that concludes the 2023 reading. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. This was an awesome 23 astrological overview, plus the tarot reading for each quarter. I am so thankful that everybody who is here, everybody that catches this on replay. I will also be doing more tarot readings throughout the year on Twitch and on YouTube, live multi streaming. We are going to start February 7th on Tuesday, and that is called Witchy Tuesday. So excited to get that going. And yeah, join me every Tuesday starting February 7th. There is so much more offerings that I have. If you can click the link in the bio, you can see I do stuff with Red Pill Astrology. We've got containers going on, classes going on, lives going on. And yeah, just keep up. Go ahead and follow, subscribe, make sure to hit the bell so you always know when I'm going live. And I will see everybody later. Have a very, very blessed Lunar New Year. We are here on the day of the Lunar New Year, the new moon in Aquarius. Have a blessed, blessed day and enjoy the energy. Bye.